Hello, I'm Judy Mudd, and I thought you might like to see how I proceed with drawing for watercolor. Now, drawing for watercolor is a little bit different than drawing for other mediums. Other mediums that may cover up your initial drawing, it won't matter too much as far as if it's visible or not. But in watercolor, because watercolor is basically transparent, then the graphite from your pencil often becomes part of the painting. Some people like that, some people don't, and but it can be visible. It can actually be worked in to be part of the painting itself, such as these darks up here. I often will draw directly on the paper, just like what I'm doing now, and especially for a more simple type of subject matter. However, if I know this subject is pretty complicated, and I know I'm going to have quite a few erasures, then I will then draw it, say, on a tracing paper, and then transfer it to the watercolor paper with graphite. I've started this drawing. I wanted you to see how I actually draw. This is basically, now I'm lifting my pencil a little bit, but basically contour drawing. And what I'm doing is comparing edges and angles as they change, and the relationships of one shape to another. Basically, I'm looking for the angles and the directions, and basically getting that down all in one go. I'm leaving the marks that I maybe don't particularly like, but I'm leaving the ones that I've made an error in place until I finish my drawing, because I'll use those as a guide to make the correct drawing. Now this is here, okay, and I don't mind that this is not quite perfectly done, but it's got to be fairly accurate. But I'm looking at relationships and how they work. Okay, this is down here, not quite that long. But I'm connecting the shapes as I go along. It's almost like a puzzle that you're putting together the pieces. And they intertwine, they connect with one another. And this comes up here. And then this building is, actually I need to move him over a little bit. But that's okay. I'll leave it like that. As long as I get the essence of the subject matter, I'm okay. Alright, this one comes down. Again, I'm seeing how far on this roof line does this next building start. And I'm just basically putting those pieces together in a puzzle. Right there. Again, I'm leaving those pencil marks. I'm marking this little circle there where I know I have to come down that wall. Occasionally I will use a straight edge for some of these, but most of the time I like to just use my pencil and just hope I get the right angle. Now I will look sometimes with my pencil to see what the angle should be, and that building is just about right. It's just a little small building down here in the corner. As I come up here, there's another building between these two buildings. About like that, I think. And then back over. I'll draw some of these windows out, but not a lot of them. A lot of these I will leave as paper. Slide him over just a little bit more, just to make that roof or the skyline just a little more interesting. And that goes off like that. Okay, so I have this drawing. It's not, like I said, it's not terribly accurate, but it looks painterly. I think it'll look good. One reason we want to draw these freehand more so than trace is because our marks are very much like the signature. They are part of our painting process. They are part of us. And so I can understand why some people will trace for speed, but you do lose that element of art. It's not. It's more of a rendering, or it's not really a rendering. It's an exact replica of a photograph, rather than a rendering that you may do with your pencil. So that element is lost when you trace instead of drawing. And really, this contour drawing, once you get it down, you can draw any subject matter this way. I do my portraits, florals, anything, subject matter. This is the exact same way with the contour drawing. Once I have the drawing done, and I'm fairly happy with it, I'll take out the lines that were made in error, and then I'll also go across all of the lines about every half inch or so, taking out some of those marks. All I really want is a ghost outline of a map, if you will, to give me a guide when I start to use my paint. Another reason that you want to take out some of these marks is that what if they're in error? If you have them too dark, then you won't be able to change or go outside of the lines once you start to paint. So I like to also lighten them up so that I can change things. If I see this should have been just a little bit taller, I'll do that with my paint, but I can't if I have a really dark line that's visible. I also take out some small little areas that are particularly dark that I don't want. Now, I do use the pencil to do like these little dots and things, these little details that I really don't want to go back in with a paintbrush and try to get those in. I'll just go ahead and use my pencil as a dark. But that's how I begin every painting, and I thought you'd like to see how I begin a drawing for watercolor. Like I said, it does become part of the actual painting that you finish, so it's very imperative that you do a fairly good drawing, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want it to be a fairly good drawing so that when it does show through in your paint, that it doesn't look bad. Looks good. Thank you for watching.